What's up, guys? Benny. So, breaking news, there's been a massive explosion in what authorities are calling a terrorist attack at the U.S. border with Canada and Mexico. A car packed with explosives blew up after driving into the Border Patrol station, injuring a Border Patrol member, killing both people driving the vehicle, and now there is suspected another vehicle on the loose. Many are speculating that this vehicle was intended to drive to Manhattan for the Macy's Day Parade, which of course has thousands and thousands of people at it and would be a horrible target for something like this, God forbid. A lot of explosives were in the vehicle, according to law enforcement. We now have footage, security footage, of that explosion. At the U.S.-Canada border, you can see a car driving very quickly into the actual Border Patrol station and exploding with a very monstrous explosion, very big explosion there. This video has no audio, but you can see it here once again. This vehicle traveling at a high rate of speed, presuming this was a target, right? That this was the target, and they were trying to send a message, maybe. Who knows? You can see the aftermath here of the completely destroyed Border Patrol station. Here, one of those little kiosks, right, that check you in when you're coming in and out of the border. This is blown up, and you can see there damage to the ceiling, damage to the entire structure, right? Fox News reporting that authorities are searching for a second car that is allegedly at the airport, and now the international flights have been closed. Buffalo Airport halts international flights after border attack. The Toronto police are saying due to today's incidents, the U.S.-Canada border will be increasing direct patrols of uniformed officers throughout the city. This is out of an abundance of caution, so things are changing very, very quickly on the ground. The security camera footage showing that this vehicle clearly targeted this station, and we have yet to see exactly who was driving the vehicle. Update: the FBI is now looking for a second vehicle linked to the terrorist attacks. Nearby airports are being searched, and government buildings are being evacuated and closed. The Babylon Bee, of course, always on the nose. Idiot terrorists try to enter America via Canadian border when southern border is wide open. LOL. Ted Cruz responding to our tweet. Heidi and I are praying for the safety of our brave men and women who serve in Customs Border Protections. While we don't know exactly what the cause of the explosion is, I sincerely hope and pray for the country's safety. There was a man who warned us that we should close the northern border.
Relationship with that next president of Mexico. We'll use our own military to seal our own southern border. What we need to do is stop using our military to protect somebody else's border halfway around the world when we're short right here at home. Get serious about protecting this border. And then the other thing that hasn't been discussed is the northern border. I'm the only candidate on the stage, as far as I'm aware, who has actually visited the northern border. There was enough fentanyl that was captured just on the northern border last year to kill 3 million Americans. So we got to just skate to where the puck is going, not just where the puck is. Don't just build the wall, build both walls. Can't just complete the wall, use the military to seal the Swiss cheese for the tunnels that they're actually building underneath that wall.
Thank you, Mr. Ramos.
Build the wall.
Detail about exactly what potentially happened. Witnesses who are on the ground there in Niagara Falls, New York, say that the vehicle, which was full of explosives, they saw it in a parking lot of a 7-Eleven. That's on nearby Niagara Street, right there in downtown Niagara Falls. It sped out, went on the main approach, which is Niagara Street, toward the bridge. That's when it switched to the inspection lanes, but it was in the inspection lanes, but going in the opposite direction. In other words, it was heading toward Canada in the lanes in which the vehicles coming from Canada are supposed to be coming from. That's when it sped up, and we're told it slammed into the booth, actually into a concrete obstacle that is put in front of the booths to protect the booths so that cars can't just smash into the booths. Apparently, this vehicle hit that obstacle intended to protect the booth. That's why the 27-year-old CPB agent who was in the booth at the time, he was injured, but thankfully he is in the hospital in stable condition.
So that's the detail of the attack. Ladies and gentlemen, they are looking for a secondary vehicle again. We do not know if they have found it. Car exploding at the New York-Canada border. You can see there the footage of the black plumes of smoke rising into the air as that happened. Dan Bongino, of course, is saying that the pieces of shit at Media Matters when we warned you all about the growing terror threats at the United States. Right-wing media fearmongered about Day of Jihad coming to the U.S. despite lack of evidence. Yeah, that's exactly right. These people, they are truly such unbelievable monsters. And our genius FBI director, instead of prosecuting the Bidens, who are international criminals, and instead of prosecuting actual terrorists who spent the better part of the last 3 years hunting down Christians and peaceful protesters throughout America because they don't like their politics, stating that we are seeing major increase in threats, especially for lone actors who may take inspiration from recent events to commit violence on their own. Ladies and gentlemen, this was a report broadcast by CBS News about the potential for there to be a attack in New York. This was broadcast 24 hours ago. Predicted programming? You decide. Watch.
Thank you, Jerika. CBS News has obtained a security alert suggesting an increasing terrorist threat to New York State. The New York State Intelligence Bulletin points to Israeli operations against Hamas, and specifically that the increase in civilian casualties raises the likelihood that violent extremist threat actors will seek to conduct attacks against targets in the West, with New York State being a focus. The alert says possible targets include protests and other public events. Police in New York maintaining a highly visible security presence around potential targets like synagogues. And while there's no specific or credible threat, security for this week's Thanksgiving Day parade is at a high level with the full deployment of thousands of New York City police officers. The intelligence bulletin emphasizes that anti-Palestinian chatter has also been observed on multiple social media channels, with pro-Israeli advocates calling for violence against Palestinians and those who support them. The greatest threat comes from lone actors who take inspiration from violent rhetoric, much of it online. Today, New York's governor called on social media companies to take an aggressive approach to shut them down. Jerika.
Catherine Herridge, thank you for that.